Hello, everybody, and welcome to Integrity Talks. I'm Charissa Bloomberg. I am so excited and so honored to have a very special guest with us today. I have Beverley Anne Schafer. She is the Deputy Speaker of the Western Cape Provincial Parliament, also Head of International Relations, and former Minister of Economic Opportunities, Tourism, and Agriculture. What a mouthful. I'm so honored. Welcome, welcome, Beverley, and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you very much, Charissa, and what a wonderful opportunity to be able to speak to you today.
Thank you. Beverley, please won't you just tell us all the amazing work that you are doing currently? Because I've been looking at researching you. Wow, I'm blown away. But let's hear from you. What are you doing currently?
So currently in my paid job, I'm the Deputy Speaker of the Western Cape Provincial Parliament, and really that involves presiding over sittings at the Provincial Parliament. And as you know, the Western Cape is the only parliament at a legislature level. We have our own constitution. And I also oversee the international relations stakeholders. So I really involve myself with the diplomats and the consulates across South Africa, build relationships, take part a lot in visiting delegations from across the world. We often have parliaments visiting us from all over the world. And then we also participate in set annual network conferences such as our Commonwealth Parliaments, which we play a key role. We are a chapter part of South Africa. South Africa's one vote, and we are part of that vote. And we attend the Commonwealth Parliament. We attend the Africa Parliament. We also attend in the US the National Council of State Legislatures, which is the states that get together at a legislature level. So that's part of my paid job. And obviously, on an unpaid basis, I have a political role, but that in this particular position as Deputy Speaker, we play very much a non-partisan role in our formal capacity. So it's a lot about building networks and then overseeing the running of Parliament, which is key.
That is a huge, huge responsibility. So how has our coronavirus affected you? You must be doing all your meetings via Zoom. It must be extremely challenging. How have you coped with that?
Yeah, I think, Charissa, our biggest challenge is stopping to work. I mean, I find that I work day and night, 7 days a week. But that's also because I've taken on a project called Home Away from Home, which is really about repatriating the thousands of South Africans that were found stranded abroad as a result of not being able to get back due to the lockdown. So it's been a huge project that has demanded a lot of our time in between the Zoom meetings and in between running Parliament, and being the first Parliament in South Africa to run its first parliamentary sitting virtually last week. So we take on a lot of things, but I think what was very important under lockdown is really, I think at this point, is about the human spirit. So how is Parliament and how do our roles as individual public reps be part of the human spirit factor, the Ubuntu, the fact that we are seen to being different now. We're about one, building a united front, whether it is about feeding people, it's about compassion, it's about heart, and that becomes key, particularly as politicians in this difficult time.
Very well said, and I salute you for the amazing work. And of course, integrity is close to my heart and my whole passion. So, and we're talking about doing the right thing. So how have you included integrity into all of that? Because there's so many judgments of doing the right thing. What is the right thing to do? And I know we're all involved helping all the poor people and the starving people. And close to my heart is the animals that we seem to have excluded along the way. If people are starving, the animals are starving. So how do you manage to do all of what you do with integrity? Because I know you are coping very well with that. That's one of the reasons I also wanted to interview you on how close integrity is to your heart.
I think, integrity it's very important in the work that we do, that we are honest and we are principled and consistent in that approach. So, people will come to you, and politicians are very quick to make promises they can't deliver. I think what's very important in this time is to be able to be honest and say, I'm not able to deliver, but I can try and find out who can deliver on our behalf. Because people have lost faith in government and institutions such as Parliament over a period of time. And we need to be open and transparent going forward, particularly during this time. We shouldn't be treating our public like children. We should really be communicating. We should be transparent. We should show how we base our decisions, that they should be evidence-based, so that the public are brought in and understand and will be willing to be part of the change going forward. And if we consistently speak on that message, then I believe that we can actually make a huge difference. And I found a wonderful quote that actually resonates with me. Integrity is a state of being whole and undivided. And for me, it is about you not splitting yourself in a public space and a public position that you have, and being able to sleep at night when you make decisions which doesn't divide you as a human being, and that you can actually stand out there and stand for truth. And it sounds a bit of pie in the sky, but it really is about that. Can you stand out there and face the public on the decisions that you have made, the messages that you've convened out there, the people that you've spoken to, and be consistent in that approach? And I think it's absolutely essential that we showcase that. If we want our public to operate in the same way, to look after each other during this time where government may be lacking the resources to be able to look after everybody, how do we get our public to react in that way? And being whole and being undivided, being clear in your message and standing up for what you believe is true will convey that message and get people to operate in the same way.
Perfectly said. It's so lovely to speak to someone like that on that level. I absolutely, because you know what, people recover far better from me actually being honest and direct and saying, I don't know, but I'm going to do my best. We don't have the answers on that. I find that is so crucial. And one of my favorite sayings, the one that I've made up, is integrity costs nothing, but when you lose it, you lose everything. So Beverley, if you're standing in that role and so many politicians, and we find out that you haven't been credible, the loss of the integrity lapse, as we speak about, is gone forever once the trust is broken. So authenticness, yeah, very well said. So Beverley, what message would you love to convey? Yeah. What message would you love to convey to our audience at this time of a global pandemic? Because everybody is just all for themselves, and I'd love us to see compassion and help out the others. And what message do you have for everyone out there?
I think if everybody can understand how important it is for them playing their own role in this united, connected oneness, if I can say it like that. So, for example, you're living in a neighborhood. How can you make a difference just within your own neighborhood? You don't have to do the big things. You just have to ask your neighbor, do you need something? Can I go and fetch something? How are you? Do you need a newspaper? I've actually got an extra magazine. In fact, I have a puzzle because somebody else couldn't buy a puzzle during lockdown at level 5 because puzzles weren't for sale. There are many people who are very lonely. There are many people that have not prepped in a way to keep themselves busy during this time of solitude. So it really is just about stretching out right there on your doorstep, being able to look and see how your fellow person and mankind is doing in their space. I've noticed that mental health is really taking strain, and we need to just reach out close by. And if everybody does that, there's a ripple effect of really changing how we perceive ourselves. And I think for a long time now, we've really been about us and them. And it's time to pull back, time to bring South Africa united, time for us to be using South African products, for example. We can capably produce masks, we can capably produce ventilators. Let's use South Africans to create South African businesses. Let's bring South Africans together, bring them back into the economy, help everybody to build up and to be able to get through this very difficult time in which we haven't quite reached yet, but it is going to be a difficult time going forward in the next 2 months. And I believe that we as politicians need to show that change so that we can get everybody to understand how important it is.
Well said. You know what, I've got so much more to say, but on that powerful note, I think there should be a part 2 of this, because I'm not sure if you're aware, I've been putting podcasts out about mental health and mental resistance. And I think that's a huge part that has been lacking, and talking about connecting to others. And when we're feeling so down and we're feeling in victim mode, there's always someone out there who's in a worse case than you are. And once you reach out and help others, it's so powerful for your own healing. And this is a time for us to stand together. So I'm thinking, Beverley, maybe we should just have a part 2 where you also can share with us some of the amazing stories and some of the, that you are doing with bringing our patriots home. I'd love to hear some more about that, and talk some more about mental resilience, and talk some more about prepping people for that, because that is an area that has been lost. And it's all about our mental health and our thoughts that is going to bring us through there and connect us to others. But do you know, we've run out of time, and I could actually talk to you for another hour. So on that amazing note, I want to thank you so much, and I'd love to do a follow-up in maybe about a week or 2, because we haven't finished chatting. So last words. Thank you. Last words to you before we end off.
Thank you very much. And I think really integrity is, this is the time, absolutely the time where integrity has to show up for everyone.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Best of luck in the amazing work that you're doing. We're following you, we're saluting you, and we're honoring you. Thank you for your integrity leadership, Beverley. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.